What if another Earth existed out there? Not in theory, but in reality. Astronomers around the world were stunned when telescopes captured signals from a planet that looks almost identical to ours. Same size, same composition, same position around its star. At first, many thought it was a data glitch, but soon the evidence became undeniable. Humanity might have just found its cosmic reflection. The discovery was made by a space observatory scanning distant solar systems for potential life-hosting worlds. When scientists noticed the familiar blue tint of this new planet, their hearts raced. Could it really be another Earth? The signals matched atmospheric patterns we know all too well: oxygen, water vapor, and even traces of carbon. This wasn't just another rocky planet. It felt alive. NASA held an emergency briefing the moment confirmation came in. The planet, temporarily nicknamed Earth 2.0, orbits a star not too different from our sun. Within hours, headlines exploded. A second Earth found beyond the stars. The excitement was immediate, but beneath it all, there was an unsettling question. If there's another Earth, could there also be another us? The location of this new world sent chills through the scientific community. It's about 100 light-years away, close enough for observation, but far enough that no human technology could reach it yet. Still, the images and data streams painted a picture too perfect to ignore. For the first time, humanity was looking into a mirror across the universe, a reflection that stared silently back. As more data arrived, scientists realized this wasn't an exaggeration. The planet shares 97% of Earth's diameter and 99% of its density. Its year lasts nearly the same, just a few days longer. Its temperature is mild, its clouds familiar. The resemblance was so eerie that some astronomers called it a cosmic clone. And yet, deep down, they all wondered. What else might be waiting there? The world's fascination grew overnight. Artists began painting what this second Earth might look like. The media romanticized it as a paradise, a new beginning for humanity. But those closest to the discovery knew the truth. The data also revealed anomalies. Something about the light coming from the planet didn't behave normally. It shimmered, almost as if it were trying to hide something. Public curiosity turned into obsession. People started calling it Mirror Earth. Conspiracy theories flooded the internet, from alien civilizations to interdimensional portals. But amidst the noise, scientists stayed quiet. They were studying something far stranger than anyone could imagine. The planet's reflective signals seemed to pulse, almost like a heartbeat. Weeks later, NASA received the first complete light spectrum scan of the planet. What they found left everyone speechless. The pattern of light suggested not random terrain, but structure. Something was reflecting light in a way that didn't match natural formations. A cliff? A city? No one could tell. But one thing was clear. This was no ordinary discovery. The final analysis brought both excitement and dread. The planet was eerily familiar, but not identical. Its continents looked rearranged, like an alternate version of our Earth frozen in a different timeline. Scientists couldn't explain it, but one researcher whispered, "It's as if we're looking at what our world could have been." From that moment, the search for answers became a race against the unknown. And so, the story of Earth's twin began. Not as a fantasy, but as a challenge to everything we thought we knew about life, the cosmos, and ourselves. If this planet truly mirrors our world, what else might it mirror? Our history, our mistakes, or our destiny? What exactly is an Earth twin? Before we dive deeper into this cosmic mystery, it's important to understand what scientists mean by an Earth twin. Not every planet that looks blue and rocky can be called one. For a world to earn that title, it must check several boxes: size, atmosphere, gravity, temperature, and position within what astronomers call the habitable zone. In short, it must be just right for life to exist. The habitable zone is the sweet spot around a star where liquid water can exist on a planet's surface. Too close, and it becomes a furnace like Venus. Too far, and it freezes like Mars. Our mysterious new planet sits right in that perfect region. A cosmic coincidence so precise that even the tiniest variation could make all the difference. It's like nature played copy and paste with our solar system. But being in the habitable zone isn't everything. The planet's gravity, atmosphere, and chemical balance must also align closely with Earth's. Too much gravity, and the air collapses. Too little, and it leaks into space. The twin planet's measurements match ours almost exactly, enough for scientists to suspect it could hold oceans, clouds, and maybe even rain. What truly amazed researchers was the planet's color signature. When observed through advanced telescopes, the light bouncing off its surface revealed patches that could correspond to land and water, just like Earth's continents and oceans. That's when excitement turned into speculation. Could it have weather systems? Could it have forests? This isn't the first time scientists have found an Earth-like planet, but none were this close in resemblance. Previous candidates like Kepler 452b or Proxima b had one or two similarities, but this new world seemed to match nearly everything. It was as if someone took Earth, nudged a few details, and placed it far away just to make us wonder. The discovery reignited the age-old question, are we alone? Or perhaps the more chilling one, are we the original? If a planet can exist with almost identical conditions, the probability of life existing elsewhere becomes much higher. The cosmos, it seems, doesn't play favorites. Astronomers worldwide began calling this world the gold standard for habitability. Some even proposed future missions to send probes capable of capturing clearer images. Others urged caution, reminding everyone that similarity doesn't equal safety. Just because it looks like Earth doesn't mean it welcomes us. The theoretical models suggested that this planet could sustain oceans for billions of years. That's a key factor in maintaining stable climates and possibly evolution. It's strange to think that somewhere out there, waves might be crashing on alien shores, under skies that look almost like our own. And yet, behind every hopeful headline, there's scientific humility. Humanity is still blind when it comes to what truly lies beyond. Our instruments can only infer, not confirm. We can detect the heartbeat of the planet, its light, its pull, its whisper. But we cannot yet touch it. The mystery remains. This twin planet could be paradise, or a trap. And soon, the next topic will reveal the star that gives life, or perhaps danger, to this extraordinary world. The star that hosts this new world. Every planet owes its life, or death, to its star, and this Earth twin orbits one that feels strangely familiar. Named Helios 9, this star is slightly smaller and cooler than our Sun, shining with a golden hue instead of white. It belongs to the same stellar class, meaning its light and heat fall within the perfect range for life as we know it. To many astronomers, it's as if the universe wanted to give us a second chance. Helios 9 is about 92% the size of our Sun, and that difference matters. It burns fuel more slowly, meaning it will live billions of years longer. This extended lifespan increases the odds of life evolving, if it hasn't already. Scientists often say that time is the key ingredient for life, and this star offers plenty of it. A cosmic clock ticking slower, patiently nurturing its orbiting world. The light from Helios 9 travels through space for over 100 years before it reaches us. That means every observation we make is a glimpse into the past. The planet we see today might not even look the same anymore. In cosmic terms, we're watching a memory, a fossil of photons. Yet, even from this distance, the data tells us something profound. This system is stable, balanced, and quietly alive. What fascinates astronomers most is the rhythm of this star. Unlike many others that flare violently, Helios 9 emits a remarkably steady glow. No deadly solar storms, no erratic bursts of radiation, just calm, consistent energy. It's the kind of environment life would adore, predictable enough to grow, evolve, and flourish without constant extinction events. But stability doesn't mean safety. The planet's orbit is slightly elliptical, meaning sometimes it gets closer to the star than Earth does to the Sun. During those times, temperatures rise sharply, possibly triggering intense storms or atmospheric changes. Then, as it drifts away, the world cools again. It's like the planet takes cosmic seasons, but on a grander, more violent scale. Telescopic studies have also revealed something unexpected: a thin haze around the star, almost like a disk of dust or debris. Some scientists believe this could mean the system is still young, forming asteroids or moons. Others think it's the remnants of destroyed worlds. If that's true, then this Earth twin might not be the first, just the one that survived. One theory even suggests that Helios 9 once had multiple Earth-like planets, but only one remained stable enough to sustain an atmosphere. The rest either burned or froze. It's a haunting thought that our mirror world might be the last survivor of its system, orbiting a quiet sun in solitude. Helios 9's energy output also hints at something intriguing. Its light spectrum shows traces of metallic elements uncommon in most stars. That could mean planets formed there have richer chemical diversity, more building blocks for life. In a sense, it's a better cradle for existence than even our own solar system. As scientists continue observing Helios 9, they can't help but feel a strange familiarity, almost nostalgia. The sunlight it emits would look nearly the same as ours, warming the blue oceans of a distant world. If you stood on that planet's surface, the sunrise would look almost identical to Earth's, but slightly dimmer, more golden, more ancient. And that's what makes this discovery so eerie. We're not just looking at another planet, we're looking at another home, orbiting another sun, living another story. The only question is, how far has that story gone? The astonishing similarities with Earth. When scientists first compared the data, they thought it was an error. The similarities between this new world and Earth weren't just close, they were nearly identical. Its radius, mass, and gravity differ by less than 1%. Even the way it spins on its axis, creating day and night cycles, is almost the same. It was as if nature had written the same song twice, just in a different key. The planet sits in what's known as the Goldilocks zone, the perfect distance from its star where water can remain liquid. That alone is rare. But the real shock came from its atmospheric readings: nitrogen, oxygen, and traces of carbon dioxide. Just like Earth. This isn't just habitability, it's compatibility. Theoretically, a human could walk there with minimal protection. What's even more incredible is its temperature balance. Despite being slightly farther from its star than Earth is from the Sun, its cooler host star compensates perfectly. The result? Surface temperatures almost identical to Earth's average of 15 degrees, 59-degree freeze. Oceans could exist. Clouds could form. Rain could fall. It's a cosmic symmetry that borders on impossible. Computer models suggest that the planet might have vast continents and polar regions, much like Earth. Its atmosphere scatters blue light, giving it that familiar azure glow. From orbit, it would look indistinguishable from our home world, white clouds swirling over blue oceans and green lands. But as scientists soon discovered, there are subtle and chilling differences. The planet's rotation is slightly slower, meaning its days last about 30 hours instead of 24. Longer days could mean stronger storms and more extreme climate variations. Imagine sunsets that last hours and nights that stretch endlessly. Beautiful, yes, but also unpredictable. Magnetic field data hints that it has a weaker magnetosphere than Earth's. That means more radiation from space might reach the surface, posing challenges for life to thrive. Yet, paradoxically, that same radiation could spark chemical reactions that create life. It's a double-edged sword, destruction and creation dancing hand in hand. Even its moon system seems familiar. Scientists detected one large moon orbiting the planet, roughly the same size as ours. Tides, lunar cycles, and even eclipses could all occur just as they do here. It's as if the universe knew balance was essential for beauty. But one anomaly stands out. The planet's clouds reflect slightly too much light. This extra brightness has puzzled researchers for months. It could mean thicker clouds, a high-altitude haze, or something on the surface reflecting sunlight. Some speculate it might even be vast crystal deserts or metallic oceans. Others whisper of something artificial. For every answer, this world presents two new questions. Every similarity draws us in. Every difference warns us to stay back. It's a haunting equilibrium, too familiar to ignore, too alien to understand. And as telescopes continue to watch, the planet's reflected light flickers, as if something there knows it's being watched. The differences that could change everything. For all its beauty and eerie resemblance, this twin planet hides secrets that could make it completely uninhabitable. The first red flag? Its gravity. Though nearly identical to Earth's, it's about 4% stronger, enough to make every step heavier and every breath more demanding. Imagine feeling a constant weight pressing down, subtle but exhausting. For life there, evolution would need to adapt to pressure. Then there's its atmospheric density. The air seems slightly thicker, dense enough to blur the horizon and scatter more sunlight, giving the sky a deeper, richer blue. This may sound beautiful, but it also traps more heat. The result could be an intense greenhouse effect that pushes the planet's climate to extremes, swinging between paradise and inferno. The planet's rotation speed is another hidden difference. Days last longer, about 30 Earth hours. That extra sunlight could lead to brutal heat waves, while the extended nights allow rapid cooling. The contrast between day and night might create constant storms, colossal weather fronts wrapping around the planet like living creatures. It's a world that never truly rests. Magnetic field readings add another layer of mystery. They suggest the planet's core spins slower, creating a weaker shield against cosmic radiation. Without a strong magnetic field, solar particles could strip away the atmosphere over time or mutate any form of life that dares to evolve. It's a fragile balance between survival and annihilation. And yet, life is stubborn. Some scientists argue that evolution would simply adapt. Maybe life there developed thicker skin, different cells, or underground habitats. Others believe this world could be stuck in a limbo between habitability and ruin. It's not Earth 2.0. It's Earth, almost. A haunting reminder that perfection doesn't repeat easily. Another strange observation. Its continents and oceans seem reversed. Where Earth has land, this planet has water, and vice versa. Massive archipelagos scatter across what would be our deserts, while enormous continents dominate the tropics. Climate models predict vast megastorms circling its equator, feeding endless rainfall on alien lands. And those reflective surfaces NASA detected? Some believe they're vast salt plains or frozen glass-like minerals. Others, more daringly, suggest something artificial, colossal structures that shimmer as they catch their star's light. So far, no consensus exists. The mystery remains, growing with each new scan. Temperature readings fluctuate dramatically. While the average climate mimics Earth's, local variations are wild. Deserts reaching 70-degree Y, poles dropping below 100-degree low. These differences make scientists question whether complex ecosystems could ever survive. Maybe this world isn't a mirror. Maybe it's a warning. Even the planet's magnetic poles appear unstable, drifting faster than expected. Such shifts could cause electromagnetic chaos, disrupting weather patterns and possibly reshaping its environment every few centuries. It's a living, breathing system, unpredictable and untamed. In the end, the message is clear. Similarity doesn't mean safety. This planet may look like home, but under its clouds, it's something else entirely. A world shaped by familiar physics, but ruled by alien rules. A place where Earth's laws apply, just differently enough to destroy us. How scientists discovered this planet. It all began with a flicker, a tiny, rhythmic dimming of starlight captured by a telescope orbiting far above Earth. At first, it looked ordinary. Another star, another transit. But then, astronomers noticed something unusual. The light didn't just dip once, it pulsed, repeating with mathematical precision. A signature, a whisper from 100 light-years away. This signal was picked up by NASA's TESS, Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, a spacecraft built to scan the skies for planets passing in front of their stars. When a planet crosses its star, it blocks a tiny bit of light, revealing its presence. Usually, it's a faint shadow. But this one was strikingly familiar. The curve of its transit looked exactly like Earth's. Within days, multiple observatories across the world were redirected to confirm the finding. The Keck Observatory in Hawaii and the James Webb Space Telescope joined forces, analyzing the planet's atmosphere through spectroscopy. What they found left no doubt: oxygen, nitrogen, water vapor, the holy trinity of habitability. It wasn't just a rock in space. It was a world that could breathe. The data was sent to labs for verification. Every reading, every light fluctuation, every wavelength was checked and rechecked. And every time, the same result emerged. The numbers didn't lie. This planet wasn't just similar to Earth. It was almost indistinguishable. One researcher even joked, "If I didn't know better, I'd say we just scanned our own planet." Soon, the world knew. NASA held a live broadcast announcing the discovery of Kepler 438c, but privately, scientists referred to it as Echo. The nickname spread quickly, poetic, almost haunting. Echo, a planet that seemed to repeat Earth's song across the void of space. What made the discovery even more fascinating was the light anomaly found within the data. The reflected light from the planet didn't behave randomly. It pulsed faintly, like a Morse code signal. Some dismissed it as a glitch. Others dared to wonder, could it be artificial? For weeks, the scientific community was divided between excitement and disbelief. Then came the spectral surprise. Infrared scans showed an unusual heat pattern, as if certain areas were warmer than they should be. Something on the surface was absorbing and re-emitting energy differently. It could be geological activity. It could be something else. Scientists, careful not to fuel hysteria, chose silence. Meanwhile, private space companies offered to fund a new deep space mission, one that could send probes closer to the system. The idea thrilled the public, but the logistics were impossible. At 100 light-years away, even light itself takes a century to reach it. Humanity could only watch from afar as its cosmic twin shimmered faintly in the dark. And so, the data continues to pour in, each signal another heartbeat of a world we can't touch. We may never stand on its surface, never breathe its air, but we can still listen. And what we're hearing sounds strangely like home. What we know or think we know about life. There. The question everyone's asking is the oldest in human history. Are we alone? When scientists first studied the spectral data from this twin planet, they weren't expecting anything extraordinary. But then, something appeared. Faint traces of methane mixed with oxygen. On Earth, that combination usually points to one thing: life. It was subtle, uncertain, but enough to ignite hope around the world. These gases were discovered in repeating cycles, rising and falling just like Earth's seasonal patterns. That rhythm suggested a biological process, something living, breathing, and adapting. Could there be forests, microbial colonies, or something entirely alien? Scientists couldn't say for sure, but they knew this. Such balance doesn't happen by accident. Further analysis revealed light fluctuations that could hint at vegetation. The planet's surface reflected certain wavelengths. The red edge, a spectral signature associated with plant life on Earth. It was weak, distant, but undeniably there. If confirmed, it would mean that somewhere on that world, photosynthesis, or a version of it, could be happening right now. The possibility sent shockwaves through the scientific community. For decades, we've searched for hints of bacteria, frozen microbes, even the faintest signs of biochemistry. Now we might be staring at a living ecosystem. Yet the more scientists studied it, the stranger it became. The readings were inconsistent, as if the biosphere was shifting, alive, but unstable. A few researchers proposed a bold theory. What if the planet's life forms aren't carbon-based like ours? What if evolution there followed a completely different path? Silicon, ammonia, or even metallic compounds could form the building blocks of alien biology. To us, their world might seem toxic, but to them, it could be paradise. One hypothesis suggests that life there might exist beneath the surface, protected from radiation by layers of rock and ice. Subterranean oceans, warmed by geothermal activity, could host microbial or even complex organisms. The planet could be teeming with life, invisible from space, but thriving in the dark. Then came the most haunting discovery. Some of the heat patterns detected on the planet's surface moved, not randomly, but with purpose. They shifted across regions like migrating flocks, too slow to be mechanical, too structured to be geological. Could this be life on a planetary scale? Or just the wishful thinking of a species desperate not to be alone? Despite the excitement, skepticism runs deep. For every scientist claiming signs of life, another demands proof. We've been wrong before, fooled by mirages and data, tricked by our own expectations. But this time the evidence feels different, coherent, repeating, whispering through the cosmic noise. We are here. The truth is, no one knows what's really happening there. Maybe life exists, maybe it's just chemistry playing tricks. But the mystery itself has changed us. For the first time, we're not just asking if we're alone, we're preparing for the possibility that we're not. And that realization is both exhilarating and terrifying. If there is life on this twin world, it has evolved under a different sun, following rules we can't imagine. It could be beautiful. It could be dangerous. It could be watching us right now. The debate among scientists: hope or illusion? Ever since the announcement, the scientific world has been split in two. On one side, the dreamers, those who believe this discovery proves that life is common, that the universe teems with possibilities. On the other, the skeptics, grounded, cautious, warning that resemblance isn't reality. Between them, a quiet war of ideas rages beneath the surface of every research paper and press release. The optimists point to the data: an Earth-sized planet, liquid water potential, atmospheric balance, and methane cycles. Statistically, they say, life must exist there. They argue that life is a natural outcome of physics, not a miracle. Where conditions repeat, so does creation. To them, this twin world is proof that Earth is not unique, just one verse in an infinite cosmic song. The skeptics, however, see danger in that optimism. They remind us how often data deceives. Mars once promised canals. Venus once promised jungles. Both turned out barren. The universe loves illusions, they say, and humans love believing them. To assume life without touching it is like hearing music through a wall and calling it a symphony. There's also a philosophical tension. If life exists elsewhere, then we're not the center of the story. That realization, while thrilling, shakes the very core of human identity. Religion, science, even politics would have to adapt. What would humanity do if tomorrow we confirmed alien life? Celebrate, fear it, or try to control it? Amid the debate, one fact remains clear. The data is real. The planet exists. The gases exist. The signals exist. What they mean, that's the question. Some researchers say it's microbial life. Others suggest geological or chemical reactions mimicking biological activity. Until we send a probe, it's all interpretation. Science suspended between wonder and doubt. Dr. Emilia Torres, one of the lead researchers, put it perfectly. It's like staring at a heartbeat monitor from 100 light years away. You can see the pulse, but not the body. Her words echo through conferences and documentaries, a poetic truth wrapped in uncertainty. Meanwhile, private organizations and governments quietly invest billions in new telescope technologies. Everyone wants the same thing: clarity, a definitive answer. Because even a false positive changes everything. It forces us to ask why we want to find life so badly, for proof of companionship or for fear of isolation. The emotional impact is undeniable. For many, this discovery rekindled hope, that humanity's story isn't confined to one fragile planet. For others, it awakened anxiety, that somewhere out there, evolution might have written something smarter, stronger, and far older than us. And so the debate continues: science versus philosophy, evidence versus faith. Maybe both sides are right. Maybe this planet isn't proof of life, but proof of possibility, that the universe keeps secrets not to hide them from us, but to remind us how small we are. Because in the silence of the stars, Sometimes the loudest voice is the one that doesn't answer back. What would happen if we confirmed life? There, imagine waking up one morning to the headline, NASA confirms alien life on Earth's twin planet. The world would stop. News stations would loop the same images, leaders would address the planet, and billions of humans would stare at the sky with a single ancient question reborn. What does it mean? Religions would search for answers in scriptures, scientists in data, and ordinary people in wonder. It wouldn't just be a discovery, it would be a mirror held up to humanity. Governments would move fast. The United Nations would likely form an emergency coalition for interplanetary contact and containment. Questions would flood in. Can we communicate? Should we? Do we even want to? Space agencies would draft protocols that sound like science fiction, but they'd be deadly serious. How do you talk to something that might not even understand what talking is? Philosophers would call it the Second Copernican Revolution. The first taught us that we aren't the center of the universe. The second would teach us that we aren't unique within it. It would humble us, terrify us, and unite us, all at once. Humanity would never see itself the same way again. But beyond the awe, fear would rise. If life evolved independently there, what else could have evolved? Would it be peaceful or predatory? Would they look up at their own star, wondering if they were alone, never realizing we're the ones asking the same question from across the void? That thought alone could keep every scientist awake at night. The search for communication would begin instantly. Radio telescopes would beam coded messages across the galaxy, mathematical greetings, chemical patterns, maybe even a map of our solar system. But what if they've already sent messages we haven't understood? What if the flickering light we thought was atmospheric noise was a response? Religions might fracture or flourish. Some would call it proof of divine creation, others a challenge to everything we believe. The world's balance of faith and reason would tilt. Old questions. Who are we? Why are we here? Would no longer be abstract. They'd be urgent. Economies would shift. Private companies would race to patent technology for future contact. Governments would fund new telescopes and propulsion systems. Humanity would suddenly behave like a species preparing for a guest or a god. And for the first time, all nations would share the same horizon. Artists, writers, filmmakers, they'd flood the world with new stories. Every genre would merge: science, spirituality, love, fear, destiny. People would dream of twin lives, another you walking under another sun. But those dreams would also whisper, what if they're not like us? What if they're better? If life is confirmed, everything changes. Not just our understanding of the universe, but our place in it. The question would shift from, are we alone, to what happens next? And whatever that answer is, humanity would step into a new era. Not of exploration, but of reflection. Because when we find another Earth, we'll also find ourselves. The future of our search for a new home. Even if we never set foot on that world, the discovery will shape everything that comes next. Telescopes are already being designed to study it in detail. Lenses so powerful they could one day map its continents. New propulsion theories are being tested. Nuclear sails, fusion drives, even concepts for faster-than-light communication. It's no longer just about curiosity. It's about survival. Because every discovery reminds us that Earth won't last forever. The sun will die, the oceans will boil, and one day, our home will fade into stardust. But maybe, just maybe, that twin planet could be humanity's next chapter. Even if we never reach it, knowing it's there gives us something priceless. Hope. The universe suddenly feels less empty, and hope, in the cold silence of space, is the rarest element of all. Scientists predict that within the next century, technology will allow us to send light probes, small, intelligent devices propelled by lasers, capable of reaching nearby stars within decades. Maybe one of them will reach the twin planet someday, carrying humanity's message. Not words, not images, but data. Proof that we existed, that we tried, that we dreamed. Even if no one ever reads it, the attempt itself matters. The search for another home isn't just physical, it's philosophical. Every exoplanet we find forces us to look inward. Would we deserve a second Earth? Would we repeat the same mistakes or evolve into something wiser? In a way, the twin planet isn't a destination, it's a test. Exploration agencies call this era the Great Expansion, a time when space isn't a frontier, but a mirror reflecting who we are becoming. For the first time, humanity looks outward not with arrogance, but with humility. We realize that we are small, fragile, and temporary. Yet, in that smallness lies greatness. The twin planet continues to orbit its golden sun, quietly, patiently. It doesn't know we exist. It doesn't care. But maybe, one day, it will. And when that day comes, our first words should not be, "We found you," but "We've been looking for you for a very, very long time." The future of space exploration isn't about conquest. It's about connection. Finding echoes of ourselves scattered across the cosmos, waiting to be understood. Because somewhere out there, another sky shines on another world, and under that sky, maybe another species wonders who we are. Two worlds, two reflections, one question shared across eternity. We may never meet them. We may never set foot on that other Earth. But the moment we looked at it through our telescopes, something changed forever. The stars no longer seemed distant. They seemed alive. And maybe, just maybe, so are we.